Hi everyone, my name is Dave DiNicolo. I'm a passionate DIY expert, professional carpenter, and member of the RONA I Advise and EBOO community. Today I'm going to help pick out some Christmas gifts for the DIYer in your life. I'm a professional woodworker, longtime contractor, and expert in all things do-it-yourself. Today I'm going to have a chance to share some of my inside information about some tools and what they're used for you, the RONA community. I use the following tools in some capacity almost every day. Have questions? Feel free to open the chat box at the bottom of the screen. One of our experts will be happy to assist you. So today we're going to take a look at some of the latest and greatest power drills, miter saws, and rotary hammers. One thing we got to talk about that's extremely important is the importance of these, your safety glasses. Protect your peepers, people. They're important. So let's get started. First, we're going to talk about cordless drills. Cordless drills, I call them the cornerstone of your toolbox. Why is that? Well, first of all, a cordless drill is a way to get into your hands a battery, chargers, as well as probably one of the most versatile tools in your toolbox. Why is that important? It's important because the choice you make with the cordless drill will determine what other products you'll purchase in the future. So, let's just use an example. If you bought this Craftsman drill, and say in the springtime you decided that you wanted to buy a hedge trimmer, well, this battery can work with that hedge trimmer. And a lot of tools these days are sold bare tool only. So the cordless drill gives you the opportunity to get the important parts, the chargers and the batteries, as well as a super versatile tool. What do you use a cordless drill for? Well, basically everything. Drilling, driving screws, you can even sharpen your lawnmower blade with one of these things. They are so versatile. Every single homeowner and handy person should have one. They are the most important part of your toolbox. So, let's get started. First one we're looking at is the Craftsman 20-volt V20. This is an excellent tool at this price point. Really, you can't get much better. For the money, it's got all the power you need, it's got a great battery system, it's cross-compatible with many tools in the Craftsman line. Craftsman is a name you can trust. They've been around forever. They've got a great warranty. This has all the power you could ever need as a homeowner. Who is it good for? Well, basically it's not contractor grade, but any homeowner could benefit from having one of these. And it's just, it's a nice, got a great feel. It's got a nice, comfortable shape. It's traditional. This is something that anybody who's got an old tool or even a new one, they can get into this. It's light, feels good, good chuck, all the features you need. This is sort of an entry-level, basic homeowner tool. Great price. Hard to say no to this one. Next up, the DeWalt. What can I say about the DeWalt? They've been around forever. Reputable company you can trust. These things are bulletproof. You drop this off a ladder, you're gonna still go with it. The batteries last a long time, multiple settings, all metal gear, brushless motor, excellent tool. Excellent for a contractor, also for a homeowner who wants to be, a little bit better than his buddies. But at the end of the day, this is the one that most people would benefit from if they're doing anything more than weekend warrior type of work. Our best category, we've got the Makita LXT. The Makita LXT, this is contractor grade stuff. This one in particular has a 1.5 amp hour motor. It has got all the bells and whistles, everything you need as a professional contractor or just like a super weekend warrior. This one will do pretty much everything you need any cordless drill to ever do, and it'll last a long time. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about miter saws. Sliding compound miter saw, very cool tool. This is something that maybe not everybody needs. However, if you're a big DIY person, it's a tool that you want. And it's something that if you're getting into any flooring projects or any remodeling or anything like that, this is something that you really kind of need in your arsenal. This one here, this is the Cobalt. It's a 7¼ blade. This one's a dual sliding compound miter saw. What's a compound miter saw? It means you have the ability to miter. You also have the ability to bevel. The compound is when you miter and bevel at the same time. Careful. So, this little guy here is made by Cobalt. Cobalt is one of Lowe's house brands. This guy, you know, this is great if you're doing a small flooring project, light trim work, casing doors, cutting 2x4s. It's got all those goodies. Why do you want something that slides? Basically what that does is it increases your capacity so that you can cut a wider board. The Cobalt here is really geared towards a homeowner. Price point is low, has loads of power, has a nifty little laser on top to mark your line. It's kind of got all the features you need. At the end of the day, this is really not a contractor grade tool. This is for small home projects, and it's perfect for that. Outside of that, this is not really what you want to be using on a job site to renovate a house. Next up, this is probably one of the most technical saws on the market. This is the Bosch Dual Glide Sliding Compound Miter Saw. It's got a neat armature in the back, unlike a dual sliding biter saw, where you can actually have it flat up against a wall, and that makes it extremely versatile. Powerful, probably the most powerful in the market. What can you do with it? I mean, this thing really does everything. You can cut 4x4s, you can cut up to, I believe, 14 inches wide. You know, what makes it super versatile is that this is kind of one of the saws of choice that you would use if you were a professional trim carpenter like me, for cutting crown molding, big baseboards, wainscoting. This thing kind of does it all. One of the interesting things about this saw in particular is the placement of the motor. But other than that, this is really the big beast. And if you've got someone on your Christmas wish list that is looking for the big beast, this is the one. This is like the best Christmas gift you could ever give anybody. So this is the DeWalt 779. This is one of the greatest saws on the market at this price point. Really, you'll see this in everywhere from professional job sites to homeowners and across the board. What is great about this is that it's dual bevel, it's dual miter, has industry-leading 60 degrees worth of miter. Really just an awesome saw, well-built, belt-driven, so there's endless power. This thing will cut pretty much anything you can throw at it. And this is one of the staples in my shop. I actually own 4 of these saws. I use it for crown molding, baseboard jobs, wainscoting, pretty much anything trim related. This is the saw to have. Anybody would be pretty happy to have this under the tree. The third category of tools we're talking about today are rotary hammers. What's a rotary hammer? Well, essentially it is what most people would think of as a hammer drill or a hammer percussion. What they are used for predominantly is drilling and chipping concrete. So, what would you use them for? Concrete anchors, say you're, building a deck on concrete and you need to put anchors in for your railings. That's what these guys are for. These range quite a bit from not necessarily homeowner grade, because this is a pretty specialized tool. What you will get a lot of is there's a large spread in terms of price points based on sort of what you would actually use it for. So for example, we've got the Bosch Bulldog Extreme. The Bosch Bulldog Extreme, this is absolutely a contractor grade tool. Bosch is a name you can trust. They've been around forever. They have been in the concrete and sort of grinding business for a huge amount of time. What is cool about the Bosch hammer, the Bulldog, it comes with everything you need. I mean, it's got a depth stop if you are needing to put in concrete anchors to a certain depth. It's got the hammer function. It can be run on a regular function. This also has the ability to chip. So that's kind of cool. It runs with an SDS Plus bit system. What makes an SDS Plus bit? Well, essentially, it's kind of like this guy, only a little bit smaller. Just gonna put this over here. It's a special chuck system where the bit locks into the chuck. So you're not tightening chucks. This is set it and forget it. You put it in there, you open the chuck, you pop in the bit, you let it go, and it's locked. It's not going anywhere. This one is surprisingly light. Most rotary hammers are not that light. This one is very much an anti-vibration type of tool. Great if you're using it all day, every day. Although this is more geared to somebody who is not a professional contractor. This would be geared to somebody who needs a hammer drill, who's going to be using it on a regular basis, but they don't need a giant chipping gun. They're not breaking up huge stones, giant amounts of concrete. That's not who this is for. Who that's for is the SDS Max hammer drill, which unfortunately we do not have here today. That is a rotary hammer, and it has the motor is below the drill. What does that mean? Well, essentially what that does is it really reduces vibration. But what does it do? Well, you can hook up chisels like this to it, and you can bust up concrete. You can put, I think it takes a bit almost up to 1.5 inches diameter, which is pretty amazing. You can drill through 12, 14 inches of concrete like butter. It is literally that strong. They're light, they're heavy duty, mostly geared towards professional concrete contractors and remodelers, but you know, if you want something that's like super, super heavy duty, its big brother is the one that you're probably looking for. And then we have this. This is some super cool tech. This is the Metabo HPT LVH brushless cordless rotary hammer. Metabo HPT, who are they? Well, Metabo is a German company that is well known in the concrete and grinding industry for many years, and they have recently paired up with another very popular power tool company called Hitachi. And they have formed together to become Metabo HPT. What they have come up with here is a cordless rotary demo hammer that runs on a 36-volt platform, so it's got loads of power. It runs on a super SDS Max bit system. This thing can chip concrete, it can drill all those holes, cordless, but what is super cool about this tool is that it also has the ability to have a battery pack installed with a cord. So not only do you get the endless power of a corded tool, which is, you know, a lot of times that's what you need when you're chipping concrete, but you also have the portability of having it be strictly battery, which means you can take it into places that you normally cannot take your other cordless, your other rotary hammer tools. That is a huge plus. This is a pretty new tool on the market. I've had a chance to demo it. It has so much power, and one of the coolest features is that it has an active chuck. So if this thing gets stuck on something when you're drilling, it will stop. It will literally stop turning. So it will not rip your arm out of your socket. It won't do any of that like the old ones like I have at home. They will just keep turning and turning and turning, and you will turn along with it until one of you stops. This one will not do that. Kind of a new safety feature, very cool. This thing is literally, it's the bee's knees. Like, I mean, if you really want to impress your DIY expert at home this Christmas, that's the one, believe me. So I'd like to thank you all today for joining me. I'd like to thank the entire RONA team for giving me an opportunity to share something that I'm really passionate about. Now, the items that we talked about today, they are moving super fast. So if you want to get them before Christmas, you got to order them as soon as possible. They will not last. They are moving off the shelves, especially that big green one. That's the super one. As a reminder, if you have any questions about any of the tools that we covered today, hit that chat box. One of the EBU experts will be there 24/7. You can catch us all the time. We're ready to help you out. Find that exact right Christmas gift for your loved one or yourself. You know, it's up to you. Have a Merry Christmas.